The Battle of Patay, fought on June 18, 1429, was a crucial turning point in the Hundred Years' War, where the French achieved a significant victory over the English. Following the successful lifting of the siege of Orleans by Joan of Arc and the French forces in May 1429, the Battle of Patay marked the continuation of French resurgence and further weakened English control in France. Background: the French resurgence. The English had dominated large parts of France for much of the Hundred Years' War, especially after the Treaty of Troyes, 1420, which recognized Henry V as the heir to the French throne. By 1429, the French crown was largely isolated, with the Dauphin Charles VII struggling to gain recognition. However, Joan of Arc's role in lifting the siege of Orleans had inspired a new sense of unity and determination among the French, revitalizing their war effort. The victory at Orleans was followed by a French advance, and Joan of Arc urged the French forces to continue pressing the English. The English, led by Sir John Fastolf and other commanders, found themselves under siege in the region, with the French forces closing in. The battle, a French triumph. The Battle of Patay took place near the small town of Patay, about 12 miles, 20 kilometers southwest of Orleans. The French army, led by Joan of Arc, Jean de Dunois, and other key commanders, faced the English forces commanded by Sir John Fastolf and Sir Thomas Remston. 1. The French strategy. The French employed a well-coordinated strategy, using their superior numbers and cavalry to outflank the English. Joan of Arc, riding alongside the soldiers, inspired the troops with her faith and leadership. The French cavalry charged at the English, quickly overwhelming their positions. 2. The English struggle. The English forces, though experienced, were caught off guard by the speed and aggression of the French assault. The English longbowmen, who had been instrumental in previous victories like Agincourt, were unable to hold their ground against the mounted French cavalry. The narrow battlefield further hindered the English's ability to deploy their forces effectively. 3. The outcome. The battle resulted in a decisive French victory, with the English forces suffering heavy losses. Estimates suggest that 2,000 to 3,000 English soldiers were killed or captured, including several high-ranking officers. In contrast, the French casualties were relatively low. The victory at Patay shattered the English hold on the region and dealt a heavy blow to their morale. Aftermath and consequences. 1. English retreat. After the Battle of Patay, the English were forced to retreat, losing control of northern France. The victory further emboldened the French forces, who began to push the English out of key territories. The French victory also set the stage for Charles Vill's coronation at Reims later in 1429, fulfilling the prophecy that Joan of Arc had spoken of. 2. Impact on Joan of Arc. The battle cemented Joan of Arc's role as a national hero and a symbol of divine intervention in the French cause. Her leadership and charisma were pivotal in lifting French morale and achieving victory. Joan's presence in the battle served as both a military and psychological advantage for the French, and her influence continued to inspire French soldiers in the coming years. 3. Decline of English dominance. The Battle of Patay represented a significant setback for the English, who had been on the offensive in France for decades. It was a moment of French resurgence, signaling the beginning of the end for English ambitions in France. While the English would continue to fight in the war for several more decades, the loss at Patay marked the beginning of their gradual decline. Conclusion: the Battle of Patay, 1429, was one of the most decisive battles of the Hundred Years' War, marking a major victory for the French and further solidifying the French resurgence under the leadership of Joan of Arc. The victory, following the lifting of the siege of Orleans, turned the tide of the war in favor of the French and dealt a crushing blow to English morale. The battle was not only a military triumph, but also a symbol of the French determination to reclaim their country from English rule. Joan of Arc's influence, coupled with the French army's tactical advantages, turned the course of the war and left a lasting impact on the Hundred Years' War.